cleansing breath. All of the little nooks and crannies that are holding on. Breathing in, and at the exhale, flushing through. Allowing every moment to be the new moment that it is. Trusting the love and the wisdom that's expanding within the silence. To bathe every cell. To expand the heart. And fully trusting the process of life itself. Getting in touch with the body and allowing the visceral sensation of that unending flow of energy. That same flow that touches each one of us. Connecting. Each one of our selves is a cell within the larger organism. And really knowing that wherever we are here in this moment. And allowing each one of us in our truth and our wisdom to emerge out of the darkness into the light and fully share open-hearted with each other. And so be it.
Thank you. So, Andrea, you have the floor.
Okay. I don't really have much to say. I sent a final assessment and I sent a text message that I sent it probably like an hour after. Not sure if people saw that or was able to check in. It was done. You got it? Great. It was great, John. Done in the spirit of growth. We're all growing, we're all moving, and yeah. I spoke with Julie yesterday, kind of debriefed on some things, and where we can all, at least when me and Julie's conversation, and you might want to elaborate on it, Julie. just how every situation is just a beautiful opportunity for growth and a deeper understanding. And, I come to this meeting with, let's see, this deep intention to, let's see if I can articulate the words. Just this deep intention to look at this experience with you all over this past 3 months as growth for all of us. And, I've been doing my best to midwife growth in the organization and might have been a little bit too invested in the outcome. But it was all from care and wanting us all to succeed, wanting an environment that was going to conducive for all of our success. And yeah, I hope that there's a lot of organizational questions in that assessment as well that, I hope can guide you all to that place of success all around for each and every one of you and everyone that's connected to the connection field. Like that's my intent. And I hope that my assessment was received that way. And that's really all I have to say. I don't know if you want to elaborate, Julie.
Well, I just want to clarify with you because I was thinking it was going to come in the morning and I don't have time to read it, and I was booked solid, so I have not had time to read
Okay,
it.
that's
So I
that's fine.
couldn't even like respond and ask you questions, but I also thought maybe perhaps you would summarize, or if you want to, but if that's not what you're feeling, but if
I
you
mean,
have questions, if anybody wants to dialogue about what's in that assessment, if they had time to read it.
yeah, I think more of my, like, if you want to elaborate, was not so much on the assessment. I realized it came around 2 or 3. I think I sent the text at 3, a little after. But just, we definitely worked very intimately together over, meeting 3 times a week over 3 months. And anything that you want to share about that or further questions, or if anybody has questions about the assessment, I feel like I've said a lot of things, maybe not in a way that could have been received, but I'm hoping that through writing, you can just take it in and, yeah.
So Andrea, I'd like to say that
Yeah.
first I want to thank you because I know it kind of feels like we've been trying to herd cats or butterflies without a net. And so I really appreciate the work that you've been trying to get us to cooperate with. And I got this like in the last 20 minutes. I saw the email, but didn't have a chance to look at it or read it. So I've been kind of trying to scroll through very quickly. From what I'm getting, you've tried, and we haven't been 100% ready to do all of the form and structure that you were laying out for us. So maybe either we're a little slow, or we were, for me, I can only speak for me. My mind was like, what's this going to be? Well, we've hired Andrea, and now she's a consultant. And I think it just took me a while to figure out, what exactly are you doing? And it's, and as a consultant, it was different from, here comes Andrea and she's going to manage all the things we didn't want to manage. So once I understood what that was, I just want to say, I really appreciate what you've been doing and attempting to do. And I think it's going to be up to us to take that into consideration moving forward and see where we can go with it and how we can move it around so that we can cooperate and make something happen with form and structure for good of the whole. So I just want to say that.
Thank you, Linda. I would like to just add to that a little bit. Yeah, form and structure is so important. And I think where my disappointment came in was not so much about the form and structure, but I was really hoping to strategize with you all. And, I'm new at consulting. When I first came into this position, well, had conversation around this position, it was more of an administrative assistant, kind of a doer role. And I wrote that in my assessment too. I don't know if there was clear agreements to what my role was coming in, or has been coming in. And I think that might have caused a little bit of kind of an off-kilter resonance with that initial agreement of how I was coming in and how I wasn't coming in, and how I'm great at strategizing, but in some ways a lot newer in trying to get people to strategize with me that are not already in that mindset of strategizing. So I just invite you to think of, as you all move forward and look back at the work I've done. Yeah, Glenn and I created a lot of documents together very fluidly, very easily, very joyfully, a lot of form and structure. But I would also invite you all to take with you the initial steps in strategy, and how that's a little bit different than form and structure. When I came into this position and spoke with Julie and Shelley, I spoke about creating strong containers, and within these containers, they're not to limit us, but so we have more freedom to play. And I came in and there was lots of play, but I was noticing an incoherence in leadership and the community, and I was hoping to create stronger form and structure so that for more play and for more resonance, and it didn't come across that way. But yeah, that container, and then what's that strategy working with that container and outside that container, but bringing in information to play in that field or that container, whatever you want to call it. So thank you.
Is it too much to ask for you to just put in a little summary your definition of strategy for good of the whole? What is strategy? What was that supposed to look like?
Okay, so I did in my assessment, I put in some examples of what strategy looks like. And I also sent a few documents out with the So That model. I hope you found that, Glenn. We spoke about that a few weeks ago. So it's just like strategically thinking about the steps. Chunking down was a strategy to get us to strategize.
Okay.
So that's like creating that roadmap rather than we're here and there's the vision way over there. But how are we going to get from here to that vision, and how are we going to articulate from here to that vision to the people who want to share and walk that vision with us? And that's where it got a little off kilter, and I don't think for anybody's fault. I think agreements weren't strong enough with me coming in and what I was offering and willing to offer and thought I was offering. And that's, we're a bunch of humans. So there we go. But yeah, does that answer your question? What strategy can look like? Like, where are we going? How are we going to get there? And
Yeah, I would love for some of those things to be answered.
yeah, I mean, that's what I was hoping that we could answer together. They're not for me to answer. It's not my organization.
I might come in and just say,
Yeah.
thank you. That, Linda kind of opened that up. It's like, we've got a ton of questions that you've surfaced for us. And we do have a lot of structure in terms of documents that can support our movement toward a coherent faculty and a coherent structure for how we put together and continue to clarify and expand what comes next in terms of our education offerings and how we go about defining those and getting clarity about what people are doing and objectives and outcomes. And the questions about the strategy, it's like, I get it now, like putting a "so that" at the end of our vision statement. I mean, we want to create a whole world view so that what happens? What's the outcome? What's the end result of having this, you know, envisioning good of the whole, I don't know, 50 years from now, and we've had outrageous success, and what has happened in the world as a result of that, and bringing that to life.
Mhm.
It's how I see that, and we could certainly have a lot more focus and sharpness on how that begins to look, feel, smell, taste, and be in the world that we're all excited to be part of. And so, endless opportunities for infinite clarification,
Mm.
and it's never ending. And so, I just want to say thank you for bringing that, I'd say, heightened or deepened awareness to us as a leadership team. That's really our work, you know, is to clarify the global impact that good of the whole can have, and that we see happening, and that I'm all in for bringing that forth with deeper and more clarity as it unfolds. And so I kind of see us, you know, we'll come out. I don't know if we ever come out the other side. We're going to be in it because we're in human form, and then this is a lifetime, and we're in our process of living to fulfill each of the work that we each have to do, and coming out the other side. Well, that might mean going through the veil and coming back again to clarify it and work on it some more. So, you know, I guess I see that as an endless, infinite opportunity to, you know, evolve further. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, I just want to respond to that because, you know, I really think that Good of the Whole has done a fabulous job responding to conditions in our society. Like that's one of the draws that brought me here. You know, I observed the connection field for a month before I started this job and participated. So I just want to, you know, let you all know that, and maybe I haven't enough shown you what is going well. I thought that was just a given, so my apologies. Yeah, Glenn, the "so that" model, and you know, I also invite you to look back at all the emails I sent, every single one of them, attention, Executive Leadership Council, so they should be easy to find with that consistency. You know, in most of my emails, I did send snippets of ways that we can think and strategy and questions along the way. And I think, you know, that was one of the little communication breakdowns, was that my assumption that we would all engage in these conversations, and not catching it fast enough that that wasn't necessarily happening along the way. So yeah, I invite you to look through all those documents. And of course, everything is compiled on Trello boards. There's a Trello board. You should all be members. If not, tomorrow, I'll make sure that everybody is. Where I have the strategic plan and like all the technology you all are using, all the resources that I could find, all the tools that I could gather to help you with your mission and vision and purpose. So make sure you check that out.
Which board is it? I know there's a lot.
There's a lot of boards, so I'll make sure that you all are connected to all the boards with a little breakdown of where to find everything.
Okay.
It's in emails, but so you don't have to search through the emails on how to find things. I'll send a quick email to everyone, like, this is where everything lives. So yeah, so that model, exactly, Glenn. It's like, and even, you know, chunking it down more, like, we gather so that, you know, and that could be an endless stream of so that's until you get to your vision and then beyond the vision. So thank you for seeing that. That's a really useful strategy tool and really simple, and funders like it. Thank you.
So I'll chime in with that. I have read through it a couple times, and I actually found it very useful from the standpoint of definitions of, you know, like board of directors, executive leadership council, managing director, on and on, these different, I'll call them roles, but more as guidelines for, now I'll use your word chunking, which I've not really used before. I guess that's the other thing, is some of it is like a foreign language to me. However, having said that, I just had this sense that if we took each one of these pieces at a meeting, maybe one chunk at a time at a meeting, and we went through it as a group, that looked like the outline and the parameters would hold us into a more clarity, and be able to come out of that. Sorry. And either change it, or who wants to step up, or whatever. But it did feel like it was, I got a picture of the organization. I'm not an organization guy, but I think, you know, and we could read through it and say, no, we agree with that, or no, we don't agree with that, which is totally fine. I don't think that's the issue. The issue is that I think it could bring some clarity. The other piece being, and on the one where let's see, which one was that? Let me read the top of it. Oh, where it says mission statement, challenges, suggestions. Again, you know, you gave us the opportunity from the outside looking in, and sometimes looking in from the in, there's not always clarity. So whether I agreed or disagreed, it's like, wow, who else might be feeling this and seeing these things this way? So that was a good piece too. So all in all, there's a hell of a lot of information in here, and I appreciate that. Don't know. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of work to do in go to the whole, is what it really came out looking like, which is just fine. And so yeah, after taking a moment and really going through it, I'm going, okay, I get to, I'm seeing the diamond from a different facet now than I was before. So thank you for that.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Again, you know, one of my learnings was when to introduce things, how to introduce things, the order of introducing. Like, maybe if I had introduced that 3 months ago.
That's what I thought when I was reading. I go, wow, yeah, that would have made a difference.
You know, and you know, I think some of it I have, just not in such a form that you were like in one document. I think I've been handing things in bits and pieces. So, you know, I learned from that. Like, this is maybe information that could have been discussed earlier, and but you know what? Everything was revealed and shown and organized in its timing. And I just, I hope that my documents, like I really took the time to make these documents, um, first of all, as objective as possible, even being a human being, and really focused on like organizational growth. So you all, even when I'm gone, you all can like circle back to some of this stuff. Like, even though I'm not here, this work is. And so thank you for recognizing that it can be useful on this journey.
I'll chime in, and I actually apologize because when we were ending on Monday, everyone was saying goodbye to you like in 3 seconds. And I was the one who said, wait, this doesn't feel good. And I just assumed we were just celebrating you and not going over documents or anything like this tonight. So I apologize for that, because I know myself well enough. I'm not a good person to even try to do this at night. So I think, so for me, just to stay focused on the celebration of who you are and what you brought to the table, and as challenged as you might have felt, all this was underpinnings going on underneath anyway. And it was this revolution of this organism into being an organization. And that's what you came into, to just try and sort and card, and it was a huge amount. And I don't think anyone could have done really any better job than what you were doing with what you were given. And so I just want to say that. And for me, I think the thing that I've really looked forward to the most is the work with getting the educational portal together, because people are really waiting for that. And we have to have that. And I get the goals, and the goals are important, without a doubt. And woven with that, then, for me, that's, I feel like that's, it's just an essential piece. So I really, I've heard that you've been working on, I don't know what it looks like, but I think all the Trello board and everything that got put in place was because you gave Julie the support that she didn't have. And so I want to just say to that. And I have an interesting question. So I'm not going to talk about details. I've not looked at it. I've been doing other things. And
That's totally fine. I never said that was a requirement.
yeah, no, I
yeah.
know that. I saw
Okay,
it.
good.
I saw it around 5.
Good.
Anyway,
I just don't want you to think you missed something that I asked, because you didn't.
No, because I knew this was an honoring tonight. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit of a hard question, because of circumstance and whatever. So my question is, Andrea, if it were possible, was it, and what maybe this was part of the upset, was as you were coming closer to ending the 3 months, because all the way along, when we were in good stead with each other, and in the beginning, I felt like you always, like there was this hope that Good of the Whole would have the money to keep you going. And because I think, and mainly because you loved it. You love Good of the Whole, and Good of the Whole actually loves you. Yes, there's some sticky parts for, getting clear about resonance and understanding all of that pieces, but from your heart, and honoring your heart. For me, I just wanted to give you the freedom to really have the opportunity to express what it is that you want and what you might have wanted. But even now, even amidst all the challenge, do you feel like this has been great, and not that you finished what you're doing, because I don't think that that's really finished, but that that given the opportunity, you would love to stay with Good of the Whole and help out in the way that you've been helping, maybe like calm down a little bit and not have to be pushing so hard. But I'm just curious, or do you feel like this has been great and I'm ready to go and love you guys and we'll stay, we'll, I just want to get that really clear and give you the
Yeah.
space to express that emotional piece, because I was feeling like that was part of what was going on.
Thank you, Shelley. Yeah, I actually expressed this to Julie as well. Yes, there was a part of me that did hope you had the money to keep me, because I really see and still see the opportunity and where you're going and the potentials that are embedded in this organization and in this organism. Was I attached to that? No. I think what I know in my heart what I really want. And sometimes this is hard to find, especially working with newer organizations. And I've said this a few times. I've had the opportunity to work with different levels of functioning, from really high functioning, like Duke, they were so dialed in, it was just so easy to work in the capacity that I worked for them, but they were also dialed in over like a long time. um, what I really want, and I think where I was hopeful, was helping to create an environment conducive for my success and everybody's success. Because that really starts with leadership, in my experience. When leadership is really strong and agreements are really strong, within the organization, and there's clear goals and clear vision and clear steps, it's so easy to succeed. It's an environment that nurtures success. So, and I wanted that for myself because I care about success. I changed careers in my life because I wanted to have I wanted to reach people differently and organizations differently than I had been. And I am success oriented, and I like to feel good about like succeeding. And I want everyone around me to feel good about succeeding. And so yeah, I think there's potential for Good of the Whole to be an environment conducive to everyone's success. I think it's going to take work, and that's why I keep saying it. You can bring in all the staff in the world, but until there's clarity, and I wrote this also in the assessment, until there's clarity, staff is going to not feel like they're succeeding, and that will lead to frustration, disgruntledness, and ultimately frustration. So that's why I was pushing to like get it together. Like, let's have a conducive environment so we're all just rocking and rolling. And I know if I am staff in the future, or if I'm kind of paving the way for future staff, that whoever it is feels successful in what they're doing. Does that answer your question?
Sort of. I was just giving you the opportunity to just express your heart.
Yeah, I mean, that is my heart. There's
Less
disappointment.
about the stuff, just simply, like where it could be teary, it could be.
My heart hurts because I don't feel like there was a conducive environment for my success here, or anybody's full success here, including all of you, including Ohana Legacy Foundation. Like, I haven't even, Glenn keeps trying to give us updates, so I'm not saying just my success, but I think there's deeper success for all of us. So yes, my heart is saddened by that. And when Julie asked me if I would be willing to do a few, stay on a little longer and do some more strategizing, and thank you, Glenn, for also, bringing that up. That was my answer to Julie. Like, thank you, I'm honored. And right now, it's not a conducive environment to my success. So I'm going to have to say no, and that's hard. And call me when it is. So yeah, thanks for clarifying.
And I'd like to just throw in that in my perspective, there are no accidents. All of this has been, for me, divinely guided. And I mean, I'm doing the best I can to contribute and participate and work with everything. And this is just part of that journey. And there's no failure. I don't know that I would call it success either. It's just the journey of life, of choices and conversations and things that that I do in my interactions with others. And so it's all good. It's just all part of my learning, and here we go. And I wonder what the next moment's going to bring. And it's just that's for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. And I found a lot, like we also worked really well together, where we found, some of my successes were definitely through working with you, and that flow that we were able to find together. And it's not saying that, not saying it's bad that it didn't happen on all levels. I'm just yeah, maybe success isn't the right word, but just spinning my wheel, and yeah, I think it is all perfect. We all learned a lot, and maybe next time, whoever that is, those conversations can come quicker. Organizations, like, this is like organization 101, nonprofit organization 101. If they have a textbook, it's messy. That's the word, because organizations there's so much going on. There's so many moving parts for nonprofit organizations. And when you have a beautiful mission, but largely theoretical, in the sense that, theoretical is more concerned with theory, like this is textbook, what's the word? Meaning, rather than more concerned with theoretical than like practical applications. I think one of the hardest things for all organizations that do have more theoretical missions is that messy work of like, how do we make them practical? And it's not impossible, it's just a lot. And it requires a lot of like mental flexibility and willingness on everybody's, the person coming in, the visionaries, the helpers, to really think differently and think in new ways. And I'm not saying I was always good at that either. I was kind of pushing this process, maybe not stepping back enough to breathe into it with all of you. But I also wanted to do the job I was hired for. So thank you.
So very briefly, I'd like to pop in on top of that.
Mhm.
And that is, we defined, even before I came on, and continue to define ourselves as an organism. And organism, one of the core processes of an organism is it's self-organizing. And so in self-organizing, there's a softer movement, and it's not always a good movement. You know, some organisms die, some organisms thrive, but it's self-organizing. We asked you to come in and make the organism an organization. And that's kind of what you were just saying here. That's a tough job. And especially in 90 days. It's like, are you kidding me? You know, I have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning in an hour and a half, let alone reorganizing an organism. So I think it was a very difficult job to do. And you did push for good reason. And that was your job. And I'll just speak for myself. You know, I came into Good of the Whole as not wanting to be organized, but allowing myself to stay disorganized in order to allow a flow to come through that was just a natural thing. You know, I didn't want to see it as a job. I didn't want to see it as this is something I have to do, but just what my heart said, I'll open to this and let the order. So you had a very difficult task. It was a crazy thing, you know, but necessary, because everybody agreed, hey, look, if this thing's going to really grow the way we want it to, we got to get organized here. And so let's bring Andrea in and get this organization going. And yet, you know, the resistance was, how can we keep this self-organizing principle along with being organized simultaneously? And so, you know, that's just my point of view. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And yes, I did push and I could have been more graceful, definitely. You know, and I recognize that and I learned from that. And yeah, that is an interesting question. And I think in my mind, and I recognize that you're not swimming around in my mind, creating that that structure allows for the freedom of disorganization. Like when a musician learns chords and they have to practice and practice and practice to get those chords, and then they can play freely and have fun and jam with other people and create beauty. So, and you know, I come from a dance background. It's about like the dance happens in the technique, in learning where everybody is at all times. You know, like I'm a natural team player because I was a dancer. And we have to know where everybody is at all times. We have to be willing to lead, we have to be willing to follow, and we have to be in constant communication with the music, and we have to be counting, and we have to know what our steps are, and we have to breathe. So that's how my mind works. Okay, let's organize all these moving pieces into structure. And then when we have a solid technique, let's create beauty. So I'm sorry I was not able to communicate better that way of thinking and invite more conversation around that first. So thank you, John.
And I want to throw in that I don't think there's anything to be sorry for. I come from an agreement that says every decision or choice I make the best possible choice or decision I can make at the time I make the choice. And I believe you did that. And I believe each of us does that. And we do that on an ongoing basis. And the paths and the tapestry that you wove and we co-wove with you was unique, and it was all we could do with what we had at the time we did it. And so I don't see any reason for any kind of a sorrow. I see if anything, I see a reason for celebration in the sense that wow, look what we've done in the last 90 days of thinking about things, pulling us out of our comfort zones, shifting us around, pushing us, say, kicking the hive. I mean, we've done a lot of things that some of us weren't so comfortable doing. And again, hey, leadership at the fringe. We've been tugging at the fringes of things that maybe are not so comfortable for us to think about operating in, because we're very secure in our own very authentic, powerful selves, and reaching out and expanding that again to challenge my thinking and pull me out and say, wow, you need to consider this and I need to consider that. And oh, dang, oh, do I have to do that really? Can I just stay here and pull the covers over my head and enjoy what's going on? Or do I have to get out and go play a bigger game? So I see all of that in this that we are done to be. Really awesome. So that's where I'm at. So thanks.
Thank you, Glenn. That means a lot as well. Yeah, I'm not so much, I think the sorrow is that one of the pieces, and I was talking to a friend of mine who is a consultant for conflict resolution, and she's like, consultants, we're trained to be with people in when they're uncomfortable and they're resisting and they're pushing back. And like, that's part of our training. And that's a piece I've never had. So I was taking a lot of your discomfort very personally. I think not yours in general, but, you know, the discomfort and the resistance and, you know, all the emotions that we go through as humans learning, you know, like I recognize it as that. But yeah, I wasn't prepared. So my sorrow and actually my joy is, because I do try to stay in the question, is how can I be better prepared if I truly am a midwife for growth to hold that duality better, where when things are being thrown at me, you know, in my heart I knew my truth, but I was definitely like taken off center a few times. So thank you. And, you know, we all just keep learning.
So I just want to acknowledge a few things too. Number one, you came in not only for moving the organism to an organization, but you came in when an organism was in acute crisis. And that in itself is huge. And where we were, and Shelley said you gave Julie the support she didn't have. It's like, that's not what you came to do. And I don't feel like that's what you came to do. So it's kind of funny because I felt like you came to give the organization the support it didn't have, because I just didn't have the resources to put that form and structure in place. Because the goal at the time, in my mind, was to get our organism ready for a fundraiser in October so we could hire the staff to do everything that we really need help doing. We really, really, really need help. So you came in this acute crisis within the organization and, you know, had to sort and what have you. I thank you. The time that we spent, it was a lot to add to my schedule during the time. I mean, it was 3 to 10 or 12 or 15 hours a week, depending on what was going on just with our time, and then gathering some things or doing homework or whatever to help and assist. It was a lot, but I appreciate your initiative. Like the surveys came out of nowhere. I was like, I'm going to do a couple surveys. Okay, do a couple, you know, like, okay. And then And the other thing that was so helpful was for us to look at the infrastructure and what we needed for form and structure, and to have you really ground and land all those different pieces that we needed, from, you know, comparing these two things or comparing these 3 or 4 or 5, you know, tech pieces or whatever, and to really land that. So I really appreciate that. I love Trello, and I'm really grateful that the you know, the Unity used it and the Up Convergence used it, and I saw how it was used in a way that it works for me. It works for my brain. It works for what have you. So I look forward to this team being able to implement those things and to work in that distributed leadership way, so that the support that you gave us can really take off now, and we can deepen into all of those pieces. Because I'm still in a place, I remember last year in October saying I would not go into 2020 without an administrative assistant. And then here we are, it's November 2020. And I'm at that same place of going, I can't go to 2021 without an executive director or a managing director or a, you know, administrative assistant, or, you know. So it feels really nice that you've identified those pieces. Like you could see that systemically and hold the big picture, yet look at the details. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, and I also appreciate you being able to just kind of hold where I was and hold my vision and my ideas and my intuition, or my wherever I was, and be able to hold that and bring form and structure to that too, because it wasn't an easy 9, 12, 36 weeks. No, 12 weeks. It was challenging. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And it's kind of funny that I do think that the end of it, like, you really, in my opinion, and I don't know, maybe you were, maybe you have a different opinion about this, but in my opinion, when the organism was in crisis, you were cool. You were like cool and getting down and getting things done. And like, I felt like when the organism was in the biggest crisis point, you did really well. And I say that because I know you're like saying I should have, and I want to say, you know what, you did handle that stage really well, and were very productive for us. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And it's funny that we come to the end, and it was that end of the push, because I myself was also going, we really need these goals. We really need to chunk down the vision to the goals. We really need to move so we can go to a fundraiser. We really, you know, so I was to that point where we're not at the fundraiser, and, you know, so you I'm sure you felt my impending crisis mode, my escalating toward the end of totally unraveling and being hormonal and having all of my health challenges as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I did. I wanted to help you all get to all these places and be there for you going through these places. So yes, I was speaking fast, like, let's do this because we need to get this done. So, but you know, like Len says, it all is in its perfect timing. And I think sometimes the end of crisis, at least in the work that I've done in my life and the inquiry and, you know, the seeking, is at the end of crisis is often when it feels the most intense. Is that as that crisis is coming to its closure. So I think I was feeling that, and it does feel that there's been this opening and this new breath within the collective of the 5 of you, with me in it. So that's good. And just thank you, Julie, for allowing me to always be very transparent with you. Because I know I've said things to you like, hey, this the way that this is happening isn't working. And you could have taken them very personally and you never did. So thank you for looking at them objectively. Yeah, and the Trello boards, like they're fun. I mean, I think we never got a chance to really dial in on what communication is on Trello and what communication is email. And it kind of got lost in translation. And you all can decide that as an organism, how you want to use Trello. But when you go back and look at the boards, specifically the strategic planning board, like seriously, if you're all are like, okay, how do we get when you're ready for your fundraiser, how do we get this fundraiser out into the world in a way that we're going to get as many people? There's a link for how to use Google for nonprofits, which is a free service that gives you like $10,000 worth of free ads. So like there's all these like if you want to know how to like be most effective in social media, there's a link for that. There's so many links in that strategic planning board that I have set up for you all as little guidances along the way. So
And thank
just
you.
know they're there.
I know they're there because I was with you
Mhm,
watching and witnessing, and yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that
mhm.
infrastructure.
So, you'll think about me often if you look at the Trello board. And Julie inspired how I was actually using the Trello board. So thank you. And yeah, lots of good information is embedded in those pictures.
So we came upon our last hour. Yes, Linda, we're at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
Linda.
I wanted to be here in my healing room so that there could be a nice peaceful energy in our call tonight to celebrate you, Andrea. And I kind of feel like I want to ask, where do we go from here? And the energy feels so different. It would be nice to know that you were able to carry on. So one thing after another with fundraiser and who do we hire, it's nice to know that you're there and that we love you and that you love us. And in 2 weeks it's like, we need to call Andrea.
I'm all about allyship.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda. I would say, where do you go from here? Start with the assessment. There's questions there. There's read through the emails that I sent, maybe 2 people at a time. You look into a document. All the documents are also I sent about 3 today and they're scattered. I mean, I've sent you all the documents, but I'll send a folder. And then you can just start to move through these folders and see if any of these documents and these questions that I've asked along the way can help guide,
Yeah, thank you.
and
So I'm complete.
thank you.
If Julie you started to say something, Julie.
I was just saying we're at the bottom of the hour. I was just
Mhm.
asking if there's any closing remarks or anything else before we hopefully bring Iya in and switch gears a little bit. So
Blessings.
Blessings, thank you. Blessings to you all. I mean, I hope this isn't the last time I see your faces. You know, I'm here and good luck. And I know with it might be excruciating at times, but that's organizational development right there. Messy and excruciating at times and beautiful and freeing at others. And that's the nature of organizing complex systems. But you all are brilliant and you all have a lot to offer. So I know it's going to be good. And I don't think I'm needed on the rest of this call unless you want me here. But it feels very much like you don't. So good luck on 11/11. I also sent, documents, and I think I just saw that Jerry sent some documents as well through the Connection Field team. I looked at them with also a lot along the same lines, but also some that questions I didn't ask. So you'll see some similarities there just by circumstance of um, both of us working in organizational development. Some really great questions. So take a look at Jerry's document that she put up today on the Connection Field. And Julie, I will offboard a little bit tomorrow. I'll organize everything and we can offboard.
Perfect.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Blessings. And don't close my email yet because I'll need that tomorrow to gather documents. And
You're not getting away that fast. You still have tomorrow.
no, I mean, of course, Linda, I'm not going to be here all the time, but like if all in all, we all still feel like we're allies, like, yay, and I do want the success of good at the whole. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrea.
Blessings, everyone. Have a beautiful night and keep staying steady through these times.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully we'll have some good news tomorrow.
And thank you. Just
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
I don't know where Shelly is. Bye, Shelly. I think she's gone.
Are you
I
not
see
here?
you,
I'm right here.
there.
Okay.
Were you disappeared? I could see you. I don't know.
I
That
don't know.
weird.
I have to put something out here because I am not my best at 8:30 at night, and I can't bring Ia in at 8:30 at night. It's late for her. She's on the East Coast as well, and now we're heading toward like 8:45 to start this thing. So I'm, I'm not really up for trying to do this whole thing in the next hour because I don't work well this late at night, and so I get everyone else thought it was going to be a 2-hour meeting. I didn't. And, I've created the outline, but I don't feel, I would feel totally different if it was during the day, when I'm at my best and things are, moving. But at this point, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to, if you guys want to continue, you guys figure out the day. I just feel like I would much rather reschedule an hour tomorrow when it's bright and people are, I don't know, or like myself, but I don't feel, I don't know, I don't feel really excited or, for me, it's not a conducive time to try and work on something that's this meaningful to me. So I'm happy to just hand over. I mean, you have the document if you guys want to figure it out. And Ia is, as far as Ia, Henry, it was too late for him to figure anything out. But I feel that Ia is an elder in this community and she holds the residents and she gets coherence and she would be an enormous support for that day. And it wouldn't even surprise me if she wants to edge her way into more of, I don't know if it's a leadership team or if it's a subgroup of this, but her capacity is pretty phenomenal and she wants to create intergenerational I can't even think, courses or whatever, and I think she would be an asset to this team as an elder. But I can't bring her in now, it's too late. So whatever you guys want to do, you can decide to do. I'll listen to what you guys want. And
Is there an outline? I know that Shelley, you sent something basic for 11/11 and it's only a few days away.
Yeah, I mean.
So we probably, besides Monday, if there's any chance we could meet, I can't tomorrow unless it's later in the afternoon. So
Well,
I just- go
I think
ahead.
we need,
I mean,
I
just
think
do
we
a
need to do,
check-in. I mean, if you guys want to go for it. But I just don't feel like I'm just, and it's not, I'm not being resistant. I'm tired. I'm just like, no.
okay.
What do you want to say? Go ahead. Just say what you want to say.
Well, I just feel like, if you want to bring in Ia or Henry or anybody, that's fine after we get a basic
Okay.
format. That's all I was looking for tonight. What is the format? And then we can fill in all the pieces. But, and I see your outline and I like it.
I mean, Julie
And
said she had something that was similar or,
I do too.
Now I put notes. I didn't have anything that was me. I had notes from us from that meeting on Tuesday. And the notes I put on the Trello board, which was the list of everything we were saying, and we were firing off ideas and stuff. So I haven't even looked at it. And Linda, I think you said you looked at it on the Trello board.
Mhm.
I haven't looked at it since a day or two after that. And it just felt like, it was like all the energy was there, and I just synthesized it, put it right there, and then nothing's happened since. So that was our day. It was like Tuesday. And
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's an easy to do. I mean, it feels like it's right there. I just, I mean, I feel like I could get up in the morning and I would be like, snap, a half hour, it would be laid out, but I'm just not in that snappy space. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
So, I mean, John,
possible.
if you want to take it and, lay it out, or
No. All I'm saying is, and I can work on this too, theoretically, but if we're going to go, mission of good of the whole, someone bringing that through. I see the format not that much different than the Wednesday morning mentoring Stewart breakout hour, where there's a reflection. There's a reflection around the connection field. There's a reflection around resonance or whatever. And we're wanting, at least I thought, what we're trying to do is get feedback, get connected with the rest of the good of the whole group that's going to show up, and allow them to participate in some way. And so I just feel like with each one of these, I've got a half a dozen basic hits, just kind of like you, Shell. And like, okay, just what's the format for each one of these pieces? Go ahead. That's all.
so look, I'd be willing to get together at 8 in the morning here, or 10, or other than 12 to 1 is the connection field team.
Mhm.
But I don't, I feel like it's way more than just what we do on Wednesday. It's actually, I feel like it's feeding information, the new information. I feel like there's a lot of new information for this group, for this collective, and it's the embodied, I mean, to me, Wednesday is the embodied experience of good of the whole, of these different arenas. And so I do feel like there needs to be someone who, if we're going to talk about distributive leadership, I would like to call in someone, for a half hour who really has really lived this and is excited about it, is bringing the new information. I think this is also shifting the energy that's right now. There's still a lot of disgruntled. I mean, that fire is falling apart like royally in this moment, there is a lot of heads bunking. There's people who don't know, but I feel like it's like taking them to a whole other level. So I don't feel like it's like exactly like the Wednesday call. I feel like it's really listening for the new information and the joy and the excitement. Obviously, like Julie, or Julie and myself, or we can talk about conscious evolution and the evolutionary spiral, like really helping these people to like expand their awareness. So it takes them out into this like new frontier. That's what I feel like. And it gets them, and Joan Henry will do a talking circle. And yes, it is about them. Yes, it is about them participating, but you have to realize that the level at which they think that they want to participate isn't anything where they can be. it's still so low level, even though they're loving and love each other, and it's still, they don't have the, something, they don't have the, it's more than just the resonance. It's like, I think all the years that we experienced Barbara Marx Hubbard, even to say, you know, even when Julie was talking about, you know, this, you know, Andrea came in at the crisis, but there was no expression about the crisis is the birth. Like, do you get that? Do we get that? And I think it's for us too. I think the field wants to bring in new information, and that day is for that opportunity. So for me, it is the Wednesday call. Like the last call that you had, Julie, was really, I mean, I couldn't stay until the very, when you broke out into groups, but what was coming through is really quite exquisite and nothing like anyone in the connection field has experienced. They're just getting it. And they don't know how to hold this, but I believe that day will. So it is I get what you're saying, John, you know, like, okay, yeah, it's 20 minutes of having someone, you know, bring in the new information and then letting them muse with it. And then at the end of every hour and a half, the harvesting, I can see that.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I have a question.
I don't
No, but this is just, well, then we should decide to meet, you know, maybe tomorrow and use Monday to prepare. But my question is not about the logistics of the day itself, but how are we getting the message out to everyone? Is this for the public, or is this just for good of the whole mentoring stewards? Is it, I've asked this before, is it just connection field people? It's a time for them to be able to say what, that's how this was born. We wanted to give them a platform to be heard. Who are we inviting to this? How are we letting the public know that this is a mini retreat and what's the title of this day so that we can put it out there? Or am I mistaken? Is this not open to everyone, or is this just a closed good of the whole mentoring stewards, connection field people?
I think originally it was for everyone, but now I'm feeling, because it's getting so late, that maybe it should just be for people within the connection field and people who are, you know, on the outer peripheries, but not make it a big, I mean, there can't be a big marketing thing at this point. It's not going to happen.
All right. So,
Maybe
and that's
the lead
good.
in for the next fundraiser or whatever the next thing is. I'll be quiet. I'm complete.
Yeah. So if it is just going to be more of the connection field people opening it up so that they have our attention, they can talk to us, we can talk to them. I think that's good practice for the next mini retreat, where they'll be able to take on some of this distributed leadership and maybe see how it's run and have a day, and then move that into a larger field of a fundraiser where everyone is participating. So that's just, you know, step by step. I think that's fine. I just wanted to be clear on who I should talk to about this day on 11/11. And I'm perfectly fine with it being connection field people. And, you know, Shelley, you keep saying they, is it this, I mean, there may be people I don't know in the connection field because I'm not on the fire. So are all of these people?
I think it's more, I think there's there's two segments, so to speak. So it's the people who are really wanting to take this, to take Good of the Whole to the next level, really share their gifts. It's not like in the Heeds and Junes and the, you know, people that, you know, right, they're experiencing, you know, they've got their offering, but it's more the connection field team, people who really are feeling like they want to be part of taking this forward.
Okay.
Whereas,
because there's only like 9 people that have been coming on those calls.
Right.
There's more people, but they're not active. Can we encourage them to come on 11/11?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of fire
I
people.
think, huh? Go ahead, Julie.
A lot of fire people. Who's on the fire committee?
Yeah, there's a lot of fire people. Well, it's like there's like 12 or 14 of them, but they're all like, I mean, they are hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, they're ready to quit. So what's the crisis and how do we respond? I think.
I
Wednesday
think we
about
have to
that.
have, it's 11:11. It's like that, I mean, what I'm listening for is that I might just offer to take Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for the fire. And I was thinking of asking Sue Bertruzzi because she's real mellow. She doesn't cause any energy problem. And to run it with me, I mean, not that I really want to do this, but I will do it so that I can just run it to get it to 11:11. Because I feel like once we get to 11:11, everyone's going to come on the same page. I don't know why I believe that. I do. So, and even Martin was like, I'm out of here, Shelley. And I'm like, Martin, can you just like hang in there? Let's get to 11:11. Let's get to this point. I'll come in and I'll help. Because
Is it one person or is it a group of people?
no, it's a group, and it's basically based around now. It's like now it's focused on Claudia's the bull, and it's not just. I mean, Julie Down's ready to say I'm out. I'm not going to come. If Claudia's coming in, I'm not coming on. And then it's Jerry. It's Claudia and Jerry, and the two of them are coming in. That survey, like I even asked Jerry, please don't put that survey out until you show it to me. Like, let me bring in what I think can help. She didn't do it. You know, and she and Imani are like this. So they're all, and then there are the oblivious ones, you know, who just
Like me.
yes,
Like me.
Like me.
Yay.
Well, you don't
Hey, we're oblivion.
We're oblivious.
well,
We should
the
form a
main
group.
thing is these are our peeps, and so 11:11 is the opportunity to get them all on the same page, feeling really good about each other. I've asked Claudia. Claudia sent me a whole big test. I said, Claudia, I think it would just be best if you would just back off a little bit. I haven't even talked to her yet. And she actually pretty much agreed. And I mean, so I think I just feel that 11:11 is just, I don't even, you know, it could be more, Julie, like the retreat we did with a little bit less structure, more just getting to know each other, hanging out, learning some of these concepts, understanding conscious evolution, because that changes once. None of these guys have any idea.
Why,
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
we should show, you know, do a share screen and show them Barbara Marx Hubbard's first movie.
Yeah, or video, you know. I mean, I think it can be really simple. I think there's a lot of talking. All right, now
A lot of open space. A lot of open space. So there's place for interaction.
what?
A lot of open space where there's place for interaction. And
My sense is like structured. I don't think these guys, you know, as an example, Glenn, they're getting on, and please, Julie, take off the evening resonance. Please take it out of the digest. Because what's happening is they're getting on and they think they're not doing resonance, maybe a little bit of music, but they're doing this with each other. They're using the space to.
What does this mean? They're fighting with each other? What? I don't understand what this means.
I got on. Yeah. Well, it's because the people that love to stay on, it's Claudia. Who are the late night people? Claudia and Jerry and maybe Miranda, but Miranda's in a really good space.
No,
but
she's been going to bed. These are people who've been coming to the japa, and the japa is still going at the same time. It's like 15 minutes later. Until I think November 17th, because Catherine came on late and she wants to continue, and Joyce Sang is continuing, Charlie's continuing.
But are you running it, Linda?
No.
See,
No, they're fine. They're fine. It's a small, they're not going on Facebook Live. It's a small group. I was on there last night. They're absolutely fine. They're just following what I did. And it's, I mean, I'll get them into if there's no one before, I'll get them in. Sometimes does Charlie, Randall and Oriana have been there every night. And so he's been letting them in.
I just want to say this because I think this is important for us to pay attention, and John will understand what I'm saying as a psychotherapist, but if Claudia, Claudia's name calling, being verbally abusive, being emotionally abusive, calling them racists.
Yeah.
Claudia also was in the connection field for weeks crying and weeping. And literally, like, is Claudia, sometimes I just will observe and go, is she histrionic or borderline? Like, what is happening that she's literally creating this conflict and then talking about people and then and then playing victim, and then just, it's like these dynamics. So
More borderline.
more borderline.
Yeah,
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 and
that's my
also-
observation.
Also, I want to say again, you have to remember, some of these people are using medicine and have been using medicine, and she's one of them. And so that creates a lot of, and they don't have the emotional integration work that I think all of us have had, and on some level through some sort of experience, that they don't know how to own their own stuff without projecting. And that's what's happening. It's these bullets of projection that feel like it's what they're feeling, but they don't know the difference between what they're feeling and what they're projecting. And the collusion piece. The collusion piece has kind of stopped, I think. But here's the other bottom line issue with Claudia is that every single one of these people, when the whole thing happened with Jose, they all went to Claudia. They built her up as on a pedestal, and now they don't want her. And her knowledge is quite extensive. I mean, her knowledge is amazing. So they all went to her, and nobody's owning that side of it either. So why is Claudia so mad? Because she's got her side of it, of course, but she's also being on a drag line, and then you've got Jerry, who was, fighting Amani to have Claudia, so it's very convoluted. But if someone's doing a lot of medicine, I'm guessing most of them have stopped, but I'm not sure about Claudia.
It kind of sounds to me like, now, I mean, I'm not into this all the time, but it sounds to me like we've created a kind of a self-help, some kind of support group that's trying to figure out their way through life. And
and Julie knows this now. You know why I went nuts? Because I was on the phone with them, one person each, because they're all talking behind each other's backs, 3 hours at a time with each person. And that wasn't enough for them.
That would.
And then they call me, and then they call Linda. So
now they're not calling
3 hours with Shelley, and then they want an hour or 2 or 3 with me.
Now you know
they're getting psychoanalyzed and coached in support group for
free.
For free.
Free.
Yeah.
I should have made about a couple of $100,000 for the past 2 months.
Yeah, then it just eats up your life and time, and we don't have you don't.
But this is what I believe.
I don't think
we're all on the same page, because now I watch Amani is calling me, and now she's calling Julie.
Yeah, I got a long email and once time with me, and she did that a couple days ago when she was already meeting with you, and I heard you were meeting with her, and then I'm like, why is she asking to meet with me, and texting, and it's always like very passive aggressive with Amani. It's like I'm sending an emoji like, remember me out here, hello, and then it's like long email. Oh my gosh, for me, so now I need to respond.
So this is what I'm saying about 1111. No, look, actually, I would like to have a full around agreement that we're actually not responding to that anymore. That we're saying, just like, and Imani already knows she's done on Saturday. I already told her I'll take it over for just Sunday and Monday and Tuesday to get us to Wednesday, and we can decide what we're doing with the fire, no fire on Wednesday, or when we're starting or when we're not starting. But this is what I believe. If all of us hold the higher vibration, giving them love, but saying, just get them to that hump, because I feel like they're going to leave in a place that's going to give them the fuel. Who knows? Maybe we need to add in a piece about projection and collusion on that day. A little bit of therapy for the collective. And Joan Henry will take them. Joan Henry at 5 o'clock It all lands in Joan Henry's lap.
Is she going to do a talking circle for everyone or a women's circle?
No, she's
Maybe
going to
a
do,
women's
if I get her the friggin' cornmeal and the tobacco that's sitting here ready to go, she's going to do a circle for everyone. She's waiting. She needs to know.
Okay, now is she going to take up 2 hours of the evening with her circle?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of people, and I think it's going to be, I mean, I need to talk to her. I haven't been able to even talk to her because she's saying, what's going on? And I'm like, not until,
Okay.
what was I supposed to tell her? You know, I mean, probably, I would say an hour and a half, like that, it seems like an hour and a half segments. And usually she only really does an hour and a half.
Yes, I think Oriana has something on Wednesday too.
No, she already knows. I already,
Okay, okay.
Like we talked to everybody,
That's what I thought. Okay.
you know.
I just
So-
hadn't heard for sure.
Yeah, so the main piece is that everybody lands, all of us need to participate in Joan Henry's circle, and let that be the heel. She knows about each one of these people. I've already talked to her, not even from me telling her. She knows. She said, she even wrote me tonight, I'm trying to hold Claudia still till Wednesday. You know, like she knows what's going on, but she can handle it. And so I feel like we'll all go into that circle. And then I think there should be a closing and some kind of celebration. You know, let there be music, let them all do the music, let them, and give them, and make sure that there's an hour or 45 minutes where each one of whoever's a host in the connection field can just share their little blurb or give people an embodied experience within, give them each 10 minutes or something. Mm-hmm. You know, so that everybody knows, everybody's on the same page, everybody knows what's happening, and they also get a download of, from you, Julie, where we're all going, so that they're all feeling embraced and held. They've gotten their say, and they end up in that friggin' circle, and everybody gets the talking stick. And Joan Henry won't put it up with any And then we have a closing after that, or we take a break and come back for our closing stuff and some kind of celebration. And
so what about the Japamala people? I mean, should I just tell them that could be part of the night, of the closing of the night, or that they're on their own? We're not going to do it in the connection field.
No, we don't want, this is the thing. And this, we have to be really careful of, Linda. We want them in for the day. So if you want to do something on Wednesday, do a half hour as part of the closing Japamala for peace, which would be amazing, especially with all these people. Yeah. You do it.
Okay.
So you take that night but maybe it's not at 10 o'clock at night. It's got to be earlier.
It's fine with me. I want to let Catherine know. Catherine and Joyce were they're wonderful. They're just kind of on their own, but but that little welcome home resonant icon, I left that, I made that host so that people could stay on. There was no one last night, but Claudia and the last night that I had the Japamala, which was Monday night, Claudia and Jerry had come on late.
Let them go talk on their own phones. Let's not let them be using.
Okay, so I'll just, so if that was what the Residence Lounge was, let's just close that.
Close it down.
Don't have that welcome home at the end of the night.
No,
it won't be a Residence
Lounge down until we're ready, until people are really ready.
Right.
Or whatever the next piece is there.
They just used it as their private Zoom room,
Well, it's kind of been a 24-hour open residence lounge is what it's happened. And people are loving it and thanking, like they're literally happy during the day. I don't know about nighttime, but during the day when there's a break and there's nobody there, people gather and they're talking. So do we want the 24/7 residence lounge open without a host? Or
first of all, you can't call it a residence lounge because it isn't.
Yeah, open space, whatever it is. Open space.
So close it down after for right now, for another couple of weeks. Let's see what emerges after this 11/11. Close down the residence lounge. We just tell them it's closed. If they want to talk to each other, they can go.
You're talking about the evening one, the one.
Is this Jerry's the one that wanted it, and Jerry's the one that's hosting it? So do you just say no? Or does someone talk to Jerry?
No, Jerry actually blew it off. She just showed up the other night and maybe 2 nights, because, but she blew it off. She was the one who said to me, I'll take it every single night. And I was the one who said, Jerry, don't offer that. You're going to burn out. And when I set her up, she never even showed up. So I just think for the benefit of good of the whole, we just take off the residence lounge after the Japamala, just for now until we see. And then and I think what it'll be start to become clear what, I think there's more people who want to do something inside of the day. I don't know what happens from here really, but we've got to get them all on the same page, and we got to get them understanding the love. So.
And I think we have to be prepared that if they're not emotionally ready and they start in the middle of a big group of people, having a hissy fit about whatever, that we can all, we have to kind of circle around and keep them calm.
Well, you take them out of the room.
Oh.
When Claudia talked to me, and it was early, but it was like, nobody wants me anymore, and da 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 da, and I said, why don't you have your own offering? Why don't you create a Mayan offering in your own hour, I've never heard another thing from her, but why doesn't she have her own hour?
I'll tell you, I invited Shuni to do the same thing. This is back when, and because the truth is Claudia wasn't ready. In fact, even when the whole thing ended with Jose, Claudia was not ready to bring her voice out. And we had like numerous conversations about it. And then she finally began to in the fire. So, and it's a passive aggressive thing. So anyway.
So I have an observation from my place is that sounds like we've evolved into kind of a social club, and that going forward, we need to have some conversation about what's the outcome we're looking for this connection field. Are we moving into this new evolutionary core? And the slots are given, it seems like to me ought to be given to faculty to take charge of their slot. And it's not about people staying in, it's people about coming in, do what they're doing in that, and then pick another offering if that's what they want to do. But it's like there needs to be some form and structure here that makes it not all right to have it's not about a counseling session. It's like it's a classroom. It's an environment for something to occur that's around a particular theme that's managed by the host, and someone who's not in alignment with that doesn't need to be there. And if they're disruptive, then they get the boot out.
You know what?
And there's a different, or are we okay with having this collective social thing that is a coaching counseling session for people who have emotional disabilities?
Glenn, I actually really feel it really comes.
What do we do? What do we do?
Wait, here's the thing. It comes back to that we don't have a mentoring program. It really it's the result of a lot of people coming in all at once during COVID and us not having what Andrew was brought in for, whatever, having a mentoring steward program, or the portal and the pathway for people. They just didn't get it. If once that's put into place, everybody comes in and.
Okay, so let's make a deadline of when that's going to be, or a lifeline, excuse me, I don't like deadlines, of when that's going to be put into place.
Okay, we can't do that, Linda. Can we just
Not tonight. No,
can we just like get 11 together? Or
but I think maybe we can announce to them on 11/11 that the program's in place. What is it going to take to get that mentoring stewards program in place?
It's Kajabi has to be finished.
Are we still doing Kajabi, Julie?
It's
Kajabi. So the reality is it could be finished tomorrow morning. Everything's right there, but you have to, this was what we were trying to do goals for. It's like how do we bring that in? And when Andrea said, okay, we got, who wants to do the curriculum? And everybody just went. Do you remember that moment? No one agreed
Who
to
wants
do
to
the
do the
mentoring
what?
steward curriculum and do the teaching, like to create the syllabus, the curriculum, get the videos going, get the education going. And it
Okay,
was, who's going to do it? And so, Linda, you're absolutely right. It could be tomorrow. Kajabi's there. It's very easy. And, but then this is why I sent my email Sunday, because I'm not going to do it. Like, I could do what's mine to do, but if everybody else has stuff, like, I'm not going to do, I just can't do everything. I just can't do everything. So who's going to do that?
Well, I
Where do we
would
go?
agree to work with John and Shelley and Glenn on a mentoring stewards program.
okay, wait, can we, look,
Not tonight.
bigger than, I'm not gonna do this at 9:15 at night. I'm sorry. I get what's coming up here. This is the next step after Andrea pops off. This is next Monday. But what, right now, it's just simply to get the 11:11 piece together. I am willing to do it tomorrow morning. I don't think I'm meeting anyone tomorrow morning.
I can't until
And
after.
this- and I don't know,
No, until
we
after.
just have to get just the basic structure so it can go into the digest and get out. Like, this is what we're doing 11:11. We don't have to give them this full schedule tomorrow. We can, but we do have to give them something through the digest that says we're on. This is, what's the name of it? What are the times of it? And, just a few, obviously just a few of the pieces that they're going to get. And so they can be, I left them on Friday feeling very excited, or whenever that was.
Well,
So,
tomorrow I'll be at the team call. I'll be at the team call tomorrow. I don't know if we'll have anything to offer anyone, but if we're gonna,
I would work on it in the morning. I mean, I'd be happy to like land something for
Okay.
before 12. I mean, I was going to drive during then, but maybe I'll just drive after that. So,
because I would be happy to help.
Yeah. I think part of this is kind of systemic to maybe some of what Andrew was talking with us about. It's like, we took on this 11:11 commitment to do something, but we're just not really as clear as we could be in terms of what we want to have going forward. But it's
Which
all
is-
emerging, so
I
we'll do the
think you're-
best we can.
I think you're totally right. And it's like a both and.
Yeah.
And we're not going to solve the systemic thing today or tonight.
That's right.
And what I believed, at least what I believed, was that those people that played on 11:11, we're going to have a stronger, healthier team of people, not just us 5. We're going to have people who feel like, okay, I can let go of what happened over the past 3 weeks, and I'm in, and I'm loving this. Because that's what happened with Martin the other day when I was talking to him. He was like, oh my God, I didn't understand. And he went, okay, I'm in, I'm excited, and that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for, because these people, and they're beautiful, they're caught up in their little bit of their whatever, but they're beautiful, they're strong, and they want to play. And give them the right information. They will be the ones to help formulate and step up to some of these things that we need done. But if we don't give them the 11:11, and I agree, it was in response to a desperation, but also it was in response to something that is going to help us all, because we're going to all be in there together. If we can get Sharon Hardy and these people that haven't really been showing up to show up at that retreat, then we're going to have some strength and clarity and conviction, and and it's not yet. And
So
Okay.
can I ask you a question just for my clarity? Anyone that has been part of the good of the whole on any format whatsoever is invited, right? Okay, because I've already told the men's group about it, and that, 3 or 4, but now they are starting to show up in residence lounge, but most of them, I mean, some of them don't. So, but I invited them already, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shelley, if you have something in the morning that we can see, I can just do a little reminders on the Facebook pages or whatever about what it's called and what hours it will be, and just a little summary of this is a day of.
Do we have that already?
Oh, that.
Or not? Are we changing it? I don't remember what we said. I'm gonna open it.
I'm not
Had a
clear.
name for it. So can I say something, John, are you around at like, I mean, are you like, would you be available from 8 to 9 your time? Or no?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, and just like whip it through, or even 8 to 8:30 or 7:30 to 8. I don't
No, 8 to 9, not 7:30.
Preferably
Well,
9 to 10.
He's watching
I'm
the
with you.
news.
9 to 10 would be a lot.
Wait a minute. He's watching the news, reading his horoscope, and having a second cup of coffee.
I just want you to.
That's my
realize
man.
something,
That's my
Shelley.
bro.
I want you to realize something, Shelley.
Uh-oh, are you mad?
I found a replacement for what was taken from me.
Where did you find it, in the mailbox?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
It has been returned.
No, not from her. I bought a new one. That's my birthday present.
Wait a minute. You bought that one behind you?
Yeah, I just got it today. The one that was
No.
there, you took.
No, that was the one I sent you for your birthday.
Oh, you're kidding me. I just ordered one. Oh my God. Okay. I love it. Thank you so much.
Oh, happy birthday. Wait a minute. Is today your birthday, John?
Yeah.
You came on late.
Happy birthday.
Oh yeah. No, that's okay. I've had some good singers, so don't.
Here's a bad singer one that you don't need to sing to do it. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Hey.
Done. So 8 to 9, or can we do 9 to 10? Or is that too late for you? You need to get out and do something.
9 o'clock is the connection field team. Oh wait, you're 9 o'clock or Eastern? I'm confused.
9 o'clock me.
9, 10, 11. Oh, yeah, that would 2 hours, right? 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we could do 11 to 12, and then it would be ready just to feed them something in the connection field team.
right,
I'll
let's
be
do it.
willing not to drive to get this together.
Let's do
So
it.
John and Shelley, Linda and Glenn and I had this on the Trello board, and neither of you have been in there. So if you want to go over there and see what the notes are, if it's helpful.
Okay, tomorrow morning, not tonight.
Yeah.
Great.
You've spent an hour saying, I can't do this. You've given us
That's right.
an hour of your time that you can't do.
Not
So
good.
congratulations. Good job for not doing it.
Shelley, thank you so much. I'm totally surprised. I had no idea.
No, wait a minute. Can I just tell you though? Go to your mailbox. Go look at the package and see if it's from you or from me.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it, and the ones I thought had a little bit more turquoisey and pinks in it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, maybe this is the one I ordered. I don't know.
But it should be in the mailbox. It said it was in the mailbox today.
Well, then that's it. Thank you.
I think that's it.
All right, great. I like it that you perked up, Shell.
That's
You were
right.
such a
You got
downer
energized.
on an hour ago, you know?
I'm really sorry.
I'm telling you, I was contemplating suicide at that moment, but now I'm feeling better.
Oh,
I don't.
You should go to the
can you
connection.
take your temperature to see how she feels? Is
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
codependence at its best. All right, folks.
So just check your email box, and at like at 11. No wait, 11 to 12. Is that what we said? 11 to 12.
Be 9 to 10 my time.
9 to 10 your
Check my email
It
box.
doesn't come till then. It's not, the digest won't go out till I don't know when, because I'll be already gone. So the digest won't go out till later anyway.
And can you,
later tomorrow, you mean?
can you shoot me the, whatever you do from 10 to 11
You're
or
gonna do the
whatever,
digest.
so that I'll just be able to
Just
read
get the-
over it
Just
before
get the
the,
digest ready, except for this one piece.
I'm not talking about the digest.
Well, Julie is.
I am. So if I get the digest ready, you'll add this piece and send it out.
No, I'm gonna be driving. I'm going to the connection field team. There's no way. And then I'm driving 3 hours. So it's just this, but it's just a piece. It's just a piece, Julie, just like set it. I mean, I don't know, just set it up for the 11/11. Like just you put a title in, put a picture in, and I mean, you actually don't even need what we're doing. You know the basics of what's in there. Just give them a.
Well, I
just-
don't have the time
The-
and I don't have the title. The title that we had was not, the
It
title
was-
we had was Creating Community Coherence, Developing Our Evolutionary Toolbox. Is that what we want? 11/11, Creating Community Coherence, Developing Our Evolutionary Toolbox.
I don't think that's going to be inviting for what they need.
Doesn't have a lot of pizzazz to it. So we need a pizzazz.
How about post-Trump coherence?
Oh, dear God. I
Yeah,
hope.
All right. We'll send you some.
We're the glue for you.
Just put, you know
I
what,
like
do
that,
is put
Linda.
title, set it up and put title, and then we'll get the title to you by noontime.
Okay, so it's post-Trump stress disorder, PTSD.
Yeah, right.
PTSD, post-Trump stress disorder. Good.
that's great.
Yeah. And it looks like by morning we might have a new president-elect.
Yeah, I think so. He only needs one win, one
We'll
more win.
hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I've been calling in the angels for Gaia.
He's getting Georgia. Looks like he's getting Pennsylvania. He's keeping Arizona, and he's probably getting Nevada. So
Whoa.
Biden, not Trump. So yeah.
Oh, well, then he's in.
Yeah, if he just gets Pennsylvania, he'll be in. So it looks
If he
like
gets
Yeah,
Nevada,
but
he'll
fasten
be
your
in.
seatbelt
Sorry.
for what may happen between now and January.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
That's
then
what's
there's
scary.
those,
He's gonna-
yeah,
That's what's
there's
scary.
all those guidance that people got that Trump needs another 4 years to really juice us up. It's like, wow.
Think of
what
how
do
many
we do?
comedians are going to be out of work.
you guys, we have to figure this out. So okay, so I know Shelley doesn't want to stay here, but I've been like really
You have
profiling.
6 more minutes with me, 7 more
Okay,
minutes.
here's my 6 minutes. So John knows this piece. So I'm not going to violate any confidentiality, but Wednesday when I brought in the Trump and then I talked to this person, I've been talking to lots of people and I've been profiling. There's 7 distinct subcultures that are Trump fans. Because when everybody says the country's divided, it's like, it's not divided in 2. There are 7 distinct subcultures that are Trump supporters, that many of them are like Democrats, but they're going over there. Many of them are like New Age people who are going over there.
That's
Many of
QAnon.
them- Like there's like, it is weird because of all the conspiracies, the anti-Dems, the New World Order, the da, 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 da. Okay, so let me say, so we have to be careful on the connection field because John and I were in a session and one of the members had to come out and literally did her confession and how she's channeling and it's Mr. T and he's
Yeah, that
stuff.
blew my mind.
In the
So-
connection field?
Yeah, in the residence lounge.
Yes, there are people who get direct messages from their angels that Trump is the savior.
Trump is the
Like,
savior.
oh God, they got you. This is what QAnon does
In the connection field.
Yeah,
in a
Who's
lot of
channeling
spiritual
that?
communities. A
Bridget.
lot of these new age. communities.
Bridget? We got to get them till 11/11 quick. Like, can we skip over a few days? This is like,
We have to be inclusive. You know what? This is our opportunity to bring sides together and not see people as subsets and subgroups and separate.
that's why I had to actually do that, because I don't want to go to bed with that. Like, that didn't feel good.
You really
to
want to
my
bring.
body.
No, this is an important piece of subcultures in our healing and coming together because
We have to know what we're
We
doing.
need the
Not at 9:30.
cultures. We need culture, the same that we need individuals as individual cells within the one planetary body. The cultures are also informing. And that's the new piece that's starting to come through is how do we continue to be culture? We're not going to be a uni-human, you know, and it's holo universalis is yes, true.
Oh, please.
Anyway.
It's just going to be universe amore.
I'm not bringing Mark Gaffney into this conversation, so let's get rid of the amore and
I've been trying to unsubscribe to him for a long time. Talking about subcultures. Subterranean. No, I love you all very much. And I know I was really grumpy because I was the one who said, let's do this for Andrea. But I thought it was total celebration and not going over stuff. And I'm not saying that it was all very gorgeous, but for my body, I just thought we were just like singing happy birthday, thank you, and getting on
Shelley?
with 11:11. I had
Shelley?
no idea.
Shelley,
Yeah, no.
look how powerful this group right here is. Took you from the depths of nastiness into this exuberant light being. Holy cow. Let's do that on 11/11 and we got it made.
There, doing some feathering on you.
You know what? I think it's easy to say when you're sitting there and it's 7:30 or 6:30 when we started.
Yeah,
No, not even 4:30.
yeah. 5:30.
It's 4:30 right now.
Om Shanti,
Listen to
Om Salam, Om Shalom.
All right.
Go home.
What Zoom call? What Zoom number are we going to be on tomorrow morning, Jill?